live, Sammy.
Live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul, and we are watching you. Chris, stop touching yourself. I see what you're doing there. You evil man.
Even pre-recorded, we can still see.
Yes, I can not to say I can smell thee. So yes, so we are joined tonight by some lovely people: the beautiful, the gorgeous, the wonderful Jake.
Yes,
the games master herself, Laura, or Slide and Sloop, as she's like to be named.
Games master.
The games
That's
master.
Very generous.
I've seen you play. I've seen you eat weird stuff and swear lots, so it's always fun.
I've seen you turn to a giant head and dispense tricks and tips.
You have to be careful saying tricks on internet because that could be taken a different way. Not what we're saying that. Not we're endorsing that, but yes. And the cosplay queen herself, who's having looking like a full meltdown, building a cosplay for this weekend, or for now. Ooh, it is the future. Yes.
No!
Yes, we're dealing with time travel. We're in the future now.
This is what monsters must feel like on a weekly basis.
Honestly, it's a mind melt just to think of where we're at.
So yes, we've got the lovely Jess with us as well, who, like I say, as soon as we heard that we were doing a Nic Cage episode, literally bombarded me with so many messages that I felt like there was a restraining order coming in place at some time. So, yes. So we are a little bit tired because this is on a weeknight, and as I said, we are nerds that don't normally play out too late, unless Jake, who's now got the new, wonderful Gaming Up North Ramblecasts on the go now. Episode 2.
Yeah.
Will be out by the time you watch this, so better watch it or I will judge you, nerds.
Or I'll kill you.
Yes.
But yeah, Adam's a bit of a night owl, so I had to go with that for the make it a late night show. Which thanks, I saw you drop in Sloop, even though you probably didn't know what was happening.
I was just like, oh, they're on. I'll see what the crack is.
You've joined in to see the beautiful Adam as well. Like I say, as we all call him, Big Daddy Cool from now on. I think that's.
I've hired some eye candy.
It's about time we had the face that like say for the podcast, because to be fair, me and Sammy, sorry Sammy.
Hey,
but yes,
I get it. So
this is a special episode because it's going to be probably one of the weirdest and wonderful episodes that we've done in a while. We're going to take you, the viewers, to places where you've probably never been or never wanted to go for a long, long time. So yes, Sammy, would you like to do your disclaimer?
I would, because I feel like it's needed today. So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook page, the Discord, or the comment section, where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Very well said. And where's my manners? I feel like I've been a bit rude tonight, so I do apologise, Laura. It is a bit strange because I do watch you on your stream quite a lot. So having you on the Nerdy Up North podcast, I forgot to say this is your first time.
It is.
Yes. So tell us a bit about your nerdy self there, Laura. I know a lot of our viewers will know a lot about you. So give us.
I'm just a boring person who likes to play games online and pretend that they're a streamer.
It's a really funny bit. It's what you've been going for this.
Yeah, I've done it for about
2 years.
Just over 2 years. And honestly, it's just a fun little thing, and I do swear a lot. People seem to enjoy that.
Yes.
And it's just nice to have a fun time. But yeah, I like my films. I like my games. I like my music. I spend too much money on things like DVDs. Yes, I am still someone that buys them.
I buy the
very important.
Steelbooks are my thing.
Yeah, keep buying them. Keep buying DVDs, please. If that's one thing I can get across in this podcast, keep buying DVDs.
You know what? Like you and Paul did. Not directly, but I did buy Batman Mask of the Phantasm on 4K Blu-ray. That was probably down to you guys.
Yes.
I mean, the crap I bought because I wanted to have it, even though it's not a good film is because it's important to me. I've got The Shadow on DVD. The Shadow is objectively not a great film, but I want to see that when I want to watch it. If I want to go and sit and watch Alec Baldwin do the whole glinty eye thing, I can just get it. I don't have to pay Amazon £6 to rent it. So that's why I keep buying DVDs. Keep buying DVDs.
To be fair,
that's my message.
We are dodgy up north as well, so we will give you the free links and free ways to get these films for nothing as well.
Well, that's the thing though. Like when the streaming world all implodes, like all of us will be like crawling to like you and Paul, being like, "Please help us! I need to see.
I want to see this really
X-Men
obscure John Cusack film where he plays a detective in Shanghai, which I do have on DVD.
Yeah,
that no one's seen. Well, I don't think.
And you'll look down and be like, "No,
it is mine now." Or I'll open me really old ones. Remember the really ancient ones that had the clippies in the paper?
Yes.
One
of my Exorcist copies has that clippy on the side on the case, but it's also one where you have to turn over. Even though Exorcist is not a long film, you still have to turn it over.
My Goodfellas one, I've got to turn over.
Yes.
I should probably get a new copy.
I've got the collection of that. Just the bog standard DVD collection that's got every like the characters pasted on the front of them. I've got that. Nothing like special, but yeah, you have to turn it over on that one too because and Schindler's List is like 2 discs or something.
Some like light films there.
Young people watching this who won't understand this, like, what do you mean you had to turn a DVD over? Like, what are you talking about?
Well, to be fair though, when we done the podcast on Sunday with like Keon talking about the Terrifier, I mentioned Mary Whitehouse and she just looked at glazed over. I had to explain the whole who Mary Whitehouse was, and she was like, "All right, then."
So old.
But yeah. That was an interesting one. Talking about a film, a blessed that I cannot stand and trying to be positive about. Sorry, guys, if you're watching now.
Do me a favour, Paul.
What?
Paul, do me a favour. Can you mute me a second while I go and sort these dogs out?
You can mute yourself.
I didn't know that.
She goes, fight the dogs.
I'm going to nap them.
Yes, that's fine.
Why can I mute?
Because if I mute you, you've got to mute yourself. Unmute yourself there. Sorry. So yes, have you heard the rumor though that Blu-ray is going to be discontinued in 2025?
As in a new license is going to come in for physical stuff?
I think they're just going to stop doing Blu-ray and it's going to be like DVD and 4K as the viewing of choice.
I can understand why, because most tellies and most hardware is 4K now. But I will demand this until my dying day. Netflix, please release Midnight Mass on either DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. Because I need that. I need it on Blu-ray. And then I need to buy it on 4K as well.
I need to buy Andor as well in case it just gets deleted one day.
Yeah, that's what's terrifying. Disney just getting rid of shit all the time.
Or doing what they used to do in the 80s and 70s is only release a film for 6 months and say you can't watch it again for 10 years.
Oh no, the vault.
They did that with 101 Dalmatians. That actually discontinued it for like nearly 20 years or something, and then we're like, look, a big release, it's here again.
The only way you could watch part of 101 Dalmatians was on that piracy advert at the start, where it was like
There was a generation
what it really
was that
sounds
flying
like.
Past the screen there, the crazy ass Cruella de Vil song. But yes, a nice little segue there, talking about crazy ass. The joy and the tribulation of Sir Nicolas Cage. So the starting off point, why Nicolas Cage?
Why?
How Nicolas Cage?
Who Nicolas Cage? Well, yes. So yes, we'll start off with Laura being the lovely guest. Why do you love Nicolas Cage so much?
He's right. So he's absolutely done shite. Right. Like there's films of his that are garbage, absolute garbage, and I've sadly watched some of them. Like Dying of the Light, that's crap. Outcast, that's crap. Season of the Witch, shite. But he's never actively boring in them to watch. The only film I would say that is boring and he's boring in is Left Behind, which is hands down one of the worst films I've ever seen, so I cannot recommend. But he's never boring. He always brings some sort of strange energy, regardless of the character that he plays. Even if the character's kind of a quiet guy, like in Matchstick Men or the Family Man or whatever, he's very sort of There's just something about him, and I happily go and pay 10, 12 quid to go and watch a big pile of shit that's 2 hours long and I hate it, just to see Nicolas Cage just be Nicolas Cage. And he gets a lot of grief now about the whole kind of rage cage thing and he does the same thing all the time. No, he absolutely does not. He absolutely does not.
He has been on the spectrum for every different type of movie that there has been, like romantic comedy, drama, cop thriller, family film, like comic book, horror. If there is a genre of film, Nicolas Cage has been in and done a performance. Fair to say,
yes, a performance, not always on the same wavelength, perhaps, as some of his co-stars, but like I said, he's never dull, and there's always something to watch. There just is, and as I would love to say that I've got all of his films on DVD. That's the aim of my life, I think, is to try and get them. But there is a lot of VOD on demand sort of stuff where you're never going to get a physical release because like 4 people will probably ever buy it. So it's not really financially worth it. But if I can get a hold of all the crap, I'll be very, apart from Left Behind, I refuse to engage with that film. I've done it once.
So is that the line? Is that the line? Left Behind is the line that you will.
Left Behind is the worst Nicolas Cage film in terms of his performance as well as the film itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
I'll write that down.
So
make a note.
It's interesting that you said you want to own every single Nicolas Cage movie. To date,
it's a lot.
To date,
he's been counting them.
There is a few films in pre-production, but overall, starring Nicolas Cage, there's 129 movies that have come out.
That's like a challenge. Shelf.
Overall, by the time the new ones that come out, there's ones due in 2025. There's going to be 132 Nicolas Cage movies.
Bloody hell!
I'm sure there was a phase in the 2010s where I think he was doing maybe 6, 7 films a year. He really started pumping them out. But now I'm determined. I will. I mean, I've only got about 15 maybe at this point. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
So I've got a nice little funny story, and like, to be honest, if you don't have this film, I will give it to Jake to give to you because I am so pissed off I paid this money for it. One of my goals, because I love, as I mentioned, I love steelbooks, and there's some hard to get steelbooks, and I thought I pulled a blinder. Now, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, as one of the lovely steelbooks, and it's up there. I'm not going to get it down because I'll knock everything out. It is brilliant artwork. It's great. And movie Magpie had Season of the Witch steelbook for sale, and I went, great, I'm going to buy that because it was selling it for 20 quid, and I paid fucking 20 quid. Like, I'm not telling you how much I paid for that steelbook because it was more than 20 quid, and I thought I got a bargain. Come through the post, all excited. All I saw was Nic Cage's face on the cover. It was the Season of the Witch one, and I refused to watch it out of principle because it wasn't the one I wanted.
It's a bad film. That happened to me once. I bought 5 Easy Pieces starring Jack Nicholson, which is like a 1970s drama film. I thought, 6 quid, because you couldn't really get it anywhere else off eBay. Come inside the box was an episode of Chuggington. I'm like, what? What's this? Had to send it back and get me £6 back. And I went, sorry, it was a mistake. We don't actually have the disc. So where the hell is the disc gone? As some poor little kid put 5 Easy Pieces instead of Chuggington into their DVD player. Wondering why Jack Nicholson's getting chinned in a phone booth.
There's many reasons why Jack Nicholson will get chinned in a phone booth, but I'll not go into that because I'll go into a Batman rant all over again. So yes. So Jess, because like, as we said, when we said we were doing the Nicolas Cage one, like, you got obsessively scary on this one. Why do you love Nicolas Cage as much as Laura?
Right, there's a quote that I always like about Nicolas Cage that I'll have to say about why I enjoy him. Nicolas Cage is the second greatest actor, second only to Bruce Campbell. It's the same level of absolute bananas for how these people became famous for kind of being the worst actors in the most brilliant ways. We both, like, everyone knows both of them are absolutely terrible actors. They're both appalling at what they do. But there's a cult status behind how amazing it is how bad they are.
Right.
It's made them so great.
Okay.
Massively interesting guy as well. amazingly intelligent guy when it comes to movies and things. Like anything you watch of him talking about his sort of love of movies is far beyond anybody else. That guy can reel off so much, and he's fascinating.
I know when you get him talking about comic books, he doesn't let's be honest, he doesn't look like a comic book type of guy, but the passion and the stuff he talks about when he talks about comic books, like when you talk, like I know I've got the picture there as a little bit of a joke because that he was the Superman that we never got or shouldn't have got, the Flash, and there's a story about that as well which we'll go into, but he was absolutely heartbroken that he didn't actually get to play Superman. Like he physically loved that role and loved the character so much that like he did everything he could to play the character, and he got kind of got a little bit of redemption as well by playing a big comic book role in Ghost Rider, and like dodgy CGI. I'll give it its due. The first Ghost Rider isn't a bad movie. I think it's better than like say a lot of the comic book movies that were brought out around about the time. Ghost Rider 2 with the Vengeance. Oh no, just
hang on though. There's that scene where the kid asks him what it's like to piss as a Ghost Rider, and he's like, "It's like a flamethrower, man." And he's just like.
It's also worth pointing out that Nic Cage's son is actually called Kal-El as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
didn't he own? What do you call it?
Action Comics.
Yes,
he has before. I think.
Comics. Yeah,
people say he sold it or something.
I've heard he sold it. That he doesn't own it anymore.
Probably to pay his tax.
It's like a podcast on its own.
Pays fourth divorce and his tax. That's what that would be.
So Jake, why do you love Nic Cage?
I think it's because like as a kid, I always liked silly silly action movies and stuff. Like, you know, we're talking like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. Because like I didn't have any like taste when I was a kid when it comes to movies about like what was good. It was just like, ooh, is this character fun? Like I'll watch the movie. But it probably wasn't until I was a bit older when I saw like Nic Cage, because the 90s movies that were popular at the time was like Face Off and stuff like that.
Not very kid friendly.
and like The Rock. And I think
The Rock.
But it was always a kind of thing where like parents and family members had like those tapes, and I'd see them like, you know, like around my nana's be like, oh, my granddad's got The Rock. I don't really know what that is. It's got James Bond on the front, I guess, and this other guy. So yeah, it wasn't until like I started getting into more like, oh, I can watch these like, you know, at the time 15 or 18 movies. I don't even think they categorize movies anymore with age range.
No.
But yeah, like I just love that he's like always like really over the top. So you're never unsure of what kind of performance he's trying to do. Apart from he does sometimes like confuse you with like weirder things. But yeah, I just love how like animated he is. And like the guy can shout, and like people think like, I guess people probably think that's easy, but like the way he like shouts at the top of his voice in so many roles, like that's a skill, and not many actors have that skill, I don't think. Like, have you guys seen Mandy? Like,
love Mandy.
I've not watched that one. No, sorry.
But like, there's a part where he like, I mean, it's crazy, but like he like sees like a cult murder and stuff, and he just goes in the bathroom with like a bottle of vodka and just like shouts at the top of his lungs, like down in vodka. He's covered in blood and dirt, but then like he transitions to like crying because it's obviously like he's seen like the worst thing in his entire life, and I'm like, yes, like he can do it. Like he can act as good as anyone. It's just it comes out at like 100% volume, basically.
Oh, definitely. With Nic Cage, I think the reason why it's one of them actors. When you said to do this episode, I thought, yeah, I get it. It's a really interesting topic just because of the range of the guy. And when you think about like, I know you say you've not got any taste, but to be honest, I think when it comes to movies, you've got the most taste out of all of us, Jake. Just because
oh wow.
Well, no, just because he's got the balls to say, I like this fuck you.
Yeah,
Well, a lot
totally
of people,
agree.
Well, a lot of people don't have the balls to say that.
I'm not embarrassed to say I love Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Batman and Robin. That is true.
Yeah, so
No,
I would never let you get away with saying you don't have taste, because
well, I was saying like when I was like a child, I probably didn't have the most discerning. I watched Fern Gully a lot, and that hasn't held up super great.
It's still better in the Avatar. So yeah. But with the type of films, I think the first few films I saw in was the rom-com ones. What was it? There was one called "It Could Happen to You," where he promised the waitress he didn't have money for the tip, so he was like, "I'll half this lottery ticket," and then wins the lottery, and then goes back and lives up to the promise, and it's like all mushy and stuff like that. But as you said, everything he does, it doesn't half-ass it. Even like the films where he should half-ass it, he doesn't, and he does the most ridiculous things at the most ridiculous times, but he makes bad films good, watchable. Like Gone in 60 Seconds should be a terrible film. It is a terrible film, but if it wasn't for, like, say, Nic Cage, and I'll be honest, his chemistry with Angelina Jolie was absolutely on fire. That I wouldn't put it on the same level, but
every teenage boy rewound that scene where they sat in the car and they're talking through it all. Every boy did it. Went back over that.
Well, there was two films at the time. There was that one and Cruel Intentions, but I think Cruel Intentions pips it just a little bit.
I think, when I think of Gone in 60 Seconds, I also have to like think about Swordfish at the same time.
Oh God.
Those films kind of like operate in the same kind of like space of like 2000s, like
they're like proto Fast and Furious. That's what they were.
Absolutely.
Just before.
Yes.
They kind of lay the groundwork for Vin Diesel and these tatty.
Fuck them.
It's like all.
Fuck them now.
It's like all like bro guys, like just getting togetger doing schemes. Yeah.
And Travolta with his tiny whatever the hell's going on here, the line of hair and his greasy sort of. Oh God.
That was just left over from Battlefield Earth.
To be fair, though,
couldn't get the makeup off.
If Donna's watching this now, she's probably getting excited thinking about Hugh Jackman getting a blowjob while trying to code. So yes.
Oh God, that scene.
But yes. So Sammy, why do you like Nic Cage?
I mean, like's a strong word. No, I generally, there's not a film of his that I don't kind of enjoy in some form of way. As I found him when I was quite young. I love a film called Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue Got Married. And it's probably one of his first ones that he did. And he has the most amazing set of teeth in that. The most amazing hair. He very much set the bar of because he kind of did chew the scenery quite a bit in it. And then was like, I know, I'll just elevate from here and go on. I've always had a theory with Nicolas Cage that because of his family lineage, that he kind of like feels that he has to overact to over impress. The fact that he has such a big family. He's part of the Coppola era, like dynasty, and just feel like he has to just prove, look at me, I can do this, and just like completely, and that's what he thinks acting is. Because let's be honest, he hasn't really toned it down. It's just getting more and more.
I think lately he's just lost the plot and just went, oh, fuck it, I'm going to have as much fun.
I just think he's having the best fun. Best fun with the best movie choices.
I'll give him this, and like I said, there's not many actors I would say this. He is the biggest risk taker when it comes to movie choices. Like,
massively.
Because like there's some rules that you think, no, just step away from. Just don't even contemplate. And he goes, no, I'm going to see what I'm going to do with this. I know you said Peggy Sue. I'm sorry to be. That was his 8th movie. Peggy Sue got 8th. Do you know what his first movie was?
What?
It was Fast Times at Ridgemont High, wasn't it?
Exactly.
It was like a little. It was like a really small part. Yeah, he wasn't a main person in it. I think it was almost a cameo.
But still, like I say, what a film to make a debut, and and that film still holds up as well. Phoebe Cates.
I'd also, he's in one of my mum's favorite films. So this was on constantly in our house. I grew up with it. Moonstruck.
Oh,
is that the one we're sharing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've seen it once.
Yes.
Once is
Yes,
it?
I did share among all of his other accolades.
Yeah, it's one of my mum's favorite films of all time. So we kind of grew up with Nicolas Cage in our house, like every other day.
Wow, I'm in the house.
So I'm not going to throw a top 5 at you at this and be that mean, but I will ask this question, and I know it's going to be hard for like Laura because she's just squirming at the moment. What is your favorite Nic Cage movie? What is number 1 with the bullet?
It depends on the mood.
That would be easier.
Depends on the mood. I mean, the one that I never get. Oh fuck! I don't know. Probably the Rock.
Right.
Because I think it's genuinely a really good action film. Yes, it's over the top. It's ridiculous. Soldiers in Alcatraz with VX gas and all this. Let's break this English MI6 man out because he's ancient and old, but he's the only man that knows how to get in. Let's do all that weird shit. But he's actually quite, when you watch it, he's quite subdued in it. There's only one bit, I think, where he raises his voice. Come on, man, or whatever like that.
I think it's like Connie would slap the shit out of him if he said it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like that. I think it's when he's taking the orbs out of the thing, and he's just like, "Cut me some friggin' slack, man."
To me, the Rock
first impression has come.
The Rock's just there's no. I can't think of a bad bit of that film. No. I can't think of a bit of that film that needs to be cut. It's for me, hands down, brilliant.
And Harris then Con Air as well. Ed Harris,
exactly. Ed Harris is great.
Yeah.
And there's loads of people. And John C. McGinley's in it. He's one of the soldiers. David Morse is in it. He's one of the soldiers. It's a proper stacked cast. And then Con Air has a massive nostalgic. Piece to me, and I it's not, when you watch it you think this is cheesy as hell. Again, the concept's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous, but again, the castman, John Cusack's in it wearing sandals. What's not like about that? Then you've got then you've just got the
John
whole
Malkovich
thing,
as well, yeah.
John Malkovich and Ving Rhames and Danny what's his face, Treasure or whatever, he's in it as well.
Yeah.
And if that guy had only just put the bunny back, he wouldn't have killed him.
So that is trash. It's a trash film, but the kind of high quality trash that I like to watch.
Con Air's probably the most quoted Cage film, I would say, other than probably Face Off, but that. For other reasons. But Con Air, there's like tie the old bow around the old. I can't even say it. Old oak tree.
And I mean, I'm probably one of the only people that ever read the novelization of Con Air.
There was a novel.
There was a novelization. Do you know where I found the novelization of Con Air? In my school library.
Was it
my school library?
Was it wrote by Nic Cage?
It wasn't written by Nic Cage. It was an actual. I think it was released. It was released after the film because the film was in 1997. This was easily 2000, I think. It had the cover of the DVD as the cover of the book, so they must have made the film and then. For some reason, thought let's make a book out of it.
I think it's in the early 2000s of novelizations of major movies.
Yeah, there was.
That's on my Amazon list now. I'm going to be searching this after the podcast.
You know what though? I think Empire magazine give it away as a free book. Because Empire was giving away 3 novelizations. I think that was one of them.
It was great, by the way. I'd recommend it. It's very much the film.
I love the names of the villains. Like, was it Cyrus the Virus?
Cyrus the Virus. Yeah.
And you had
kill more men than cancer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what they say in the film.
That was.
It's been a long time since I've watched Con Air.
Actually,
that movie is like one of the most. Obviously, once you know, it's not. But one of the most awful scenes when he sits down with that little girl, and you're waiting to see did he actually, and the plane's just like waving at him going. I love that he gets away at the end as well.
Yes,
I know it's Nic Cage type, but Steve Buscemi in that is also absolutely.
Steve Buscemi is so cool in that film.
Were you going to say that, Jake?
I was just going to say we need to do a name check, like a main character name check for the Con Air guy. What's his name?
Diamond Dog. That's Ving Rhames.
Right.
Like, Because Nic Cage's character names are always absolutely hilarious.
Cameron
Poe.
And then I think whoever wrote the new Star Wars, Poe Dameron, it sounds a lot like Cameron Poe.
It does,
I think
yeah.
he watched Con Air and thought, yes, it's
And
good. I'm just going to swap the...
he escapes a Star Destroyer,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a cargo plane.
Oh, bless. Damn you, Poe! But
yeah, can we just go back to like what you were saying about like The Rock and stuff for being like a really fun like concept?
Yeah.
Like I think that's what's attractive about Nic Cage movies is because like they often do have like really fun, like really over the top concepts. Like I'd never heard of that movie Paul was talking about like the splitting the lottery ticket out, but I'm like, that's a really fun idea for a movie. Like and the same with like The Rock, where it's like, this scientist, he's the only one for the job, and like, we have to break someone out of retirement and prison, and then he tries to get away, and it's just like, and then they have to like crawl through the flamethrower pit to get into Alcatraz. It's just concept after concept of like, this is what you want to see in a movie, things that you could never see in real life.
But I think in that world, because the world is so well written that it's believable that Ed Harris has gone rogue and stole all this shit.
But do you not think, with the world we live at the moment being so fucked up and crazy, that Nic Cage breaking into Alcatraz seems like a plausible thing now?
It wouldn't even make the news.
Right.
So Jess, I know you mentioned top 5, but what is your favourite Nic Cage movie?
Oh, it's cruel. This is cruel.
But that's what I do. I like being the puppet master. Play my puppets, play. Lee, stop touching yourself.
But I think there's a lot of obvious ones. There's one I used to watch it all the time. Again, a bit like Moonstruck, which my mum put on for me. City of Angels.
My mum loved that film.
This person in me loves that it's not a happy ending, that it ends fully. The sadistic in me is just like, yes, this is what I want. I'm sick of happy endings and all these romantic things. But it's beautiful in its way as well. All the concept of the afterlife, what they have to do is their position, and then him trying to take on the concept of being human because he's so obsessed with like kind of how humans experience things.
It was a bit stalkerish though as well. But it wasn't that all the 90s rom-coms, to be fair.
Stand and watch people.
But I think with this, I think with City of Angels, though, it did, like, it was a decent movie, but I think it came out same time as Meet Joe Black. So, so basically, it was like this similar type of things. Interesting
huge
choice.
Screenplays getting sold off to multiple studios and multiple versions of the same movies getting made, definitely.
We're talking about Bugs and Ants. They weren't the same film at the same time, yes.
What a deep impact and
Armageddon. Oh, God. Yes.
It was happening. Other than that, for cheesy classic, Con Air is amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously we're going to have Con Air. Gone in 60 Seconds is that really crappy movie that no matter how many times I watch it, I still love it.
Play low rider.
Absolutely love it. Quote it constantly.
And to be fair, in Gone to 60 Seconds, he does all his driving stunts. So fair play to him.
What, including the one where he jumps over like 100 feet worth of stuff on the bridge?
He's a proper Raji driver, I think, in The Rock when he does all the San Francisco drive, and that's all Nicolas Cage as well.
That's an excellent. That's like top 5 car chase, like that one with the Humvee and the Lamborghini or whatever it is, the Ferrari.
There's always a good car chase in a Nic Cage movie. What about you, Sammy? What's number 1?
I don't really have a number 1. Like, I don't have like this.
There's 128 films to choose from.
I just don't have such a huge love for him, but one that really sticks out that I don't think would get mentioned because it's not part of his like. He is pretty tame in it. Is The Family Man?
Right. Oh, it's a nice one. Yes.
It's a lovely film. It's a bit sad.
Yeah.
The concept and the idea of it is pretty sad, but it does kind of work out in the end. Like,
right.
But I really like that film. Cool. I wouldn't say love, but I do like it.
Probably one I'll name in a bit. You'll probably get angry that you didn't think of it, but we'll come to that. What about you, Jake?
Well, I obviously do love The Rock and stuff. And Connor, but I think Face Off might be the top one.
Wow.
It's just like just from the start, like you can't stop looking at him when he's doing that thing where he's dressed as the priest. He's just like, hallelujah. It's horrible. But like, I think that was a film when I saw it a bit too young though, and I'm just like, I was scared of him, like because he was like legit scary.
What was his name? Pastor Troy, was it?
Yeah. Because he's one of those bad guys that they don't really do anymore. That was like, there was loads in the 90s where like they're so like unpredictable, you're like scared of what they might do. Even though it could just be like a normal scene.
And the other thing that's really good about Castor Troy is that he's technically not got much of a backstory. He's just a mad bastard that's there. Whereas now all the villains have these sort of psychological backstories. Like, just make them mad people like Castor Troy was.
Me and Laura's going to make our own podcast now, just talking about all the good old days when people didn't have to have reasons, weren't abused. Fucking Rob Zombie, you're a dick. But yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean though.
I'm
like,
sure that's what we do now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Simon Phoenix and like Clarence Boddicker and stuff, like just like you said, mad bastards that are just scary.
Yeah.
No remorse, no goals.
I mean, Face Off's amazing. And the thing is, the freakiest part of that film is not Nicolas Cage. It's the way that John Travolta runs his hand down his kid's face.
Yeah.
That
Travolta
thing
creeps me out.
Or his wife or whatever the fuck they do. That's the worst part of the film.
John Travolta's a strange guy, but like I say, he's perfectly cast in Face Off as well, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really believe him as an action star, like kind of top man in the.
You didn't enjoy Broken Arrow.
Oh God.
I enjoy the part in Broken Arrow where the guy has to pretend he's dying of radiation poisoning. Like,
so I've got two ones I would name. One's really predictable, and I think it is probably his most well, I'd probably get this wrong for saying it, but I think it's probably his most successful movie. I'll need to see figures, but National Treasure. I think
I do love National Treasure.
As a history buff as well, loving watching the History Channel. It is watching like a live action history, like going wrong and everything, but like and having John Voight as his dad, and just like the cast and everything is just done so well. And as a caper, and Sean Bean doesn't die. Sean Bean doesn't die, guys. But yeah, but the other one, and it's a recent one, and I think it probably is just Nic Cage just having the most fun I've ever seen. Renfield.
Oh, I'd enjoyed that. I wanted the pictures to see that.
Yeah.
He was perfect as Dracula in that.
And I think when we talked about me and Sammy, I thought, like, if you're going to do films now, like because everyone wants a franchise or a universe, we've got Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I want the Universal Monsters where Nicolas Cage is playing every single monster. Like, I want him playing Frankenstein. Yeah. I want him as the Invisible Man. I want him as the Phantom of the Opera. I want him as the creature from the Black Lagoon. I want Nicolas Cage in every single one of these universe.
Write the screenplay, send it to Nicolas Cage. I imagine it would probably happen.
I'd put at least 20 quid into the fund to get Phantom of the Opera star
Upwards
Nicolas Cage.
of £20.
I'd definitely do that.
It's got to be better than Claude Rains' version of Phantom of the Opera. Jesus.
It's got to be better than bloody Gerard Butler going for singing.
But the best one,
I love Gerard Butler, but no.
But the best one though as well. Could you imagine Nicolas Cage as the creepiest horror icon there is? The werewolf, Larry the Lurker,
doing his
people's windows,
but doing his transformation as well. I'm sure it'll be like top class.
But yes, I think we mentioned before, he has done quite a lot of movies recently due to having to pay for divorces, for tax and stuff. That some of them, like,
allegedly.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you, Jane. Thank you.
Yeah, allegedly.
I forgot that word that stopped us getting sued. Yes. But some of them have just been like, the concepts are just so out there. Like, I know they've just basically remade it with Five Nights at Freddy, but Willy Wonderland was one of the most. It is basically the same film, or like done just with Nicolas Cage not saying a word all the
Not
way
a
through.
goddamn word. Not
Yeah, he just
one word
drinks,
said in
doesn't
that
he?
film. It must have killed him.
But that was just one of the weirdest. Like, normally Nick loves the weird films, and she thought that was just too bizarre. There's one called Pig, where it's just.
Oh yes,
like,
I've not seen that. I've got that on my watch list though.
But yeah, and the one I think I wanted to watch, but we haven't watched, is it's supposed to be actually quite good as well, though. The Unbearable Weight of a Massive Talent.
Oh, that's so good. That's such a good film. I went to the pictures to see that as well, and I really, really, really enjoyed it.
So give us the concept, because I've not seen it, and I do want to watch
So,
it. But yeah,
I've got the DVD. Strange enough, I do. So basically, Nicolas Cage plays Nic Cage.
right.
He plays sort of a kind of a fictionalized version of himself, and he's falling on hard times, and he's struggling to get work. And he gets a phone call from this guy played by Pedro Pascal, who wants him to come to his birthday party and like kind of be a guest to sort of show off a little bit, because he's he's quite well off. But it's a bit of a subterfuge because he's wrote a screenplay that he wants Nic Cage to star in, so and all that sort of thing. And then it just turns into like a bit of a bro comedy, but it's got sort of slightly dark undertones. There's like gang violence, people getting murdered and all that sort of stuff. But it's genuinely Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage are so funny together. I would happily watch 10 films of them two just pissing about, doing whatever, driving around, taking LSD and driving cars is what they're doing. One of the scenes.
Amazing.
It's so good.
There's countless scenes in that of just obviously all of the memes created from it as well. Just the car driving scene.
Yeah, that got pretty famous, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I know we've talked about like what we've liked about Nicolas Cage. This is probably where Sammy's going to shine a little bit as well. So which ones do you find hard to watch, shall we say? Which is the uncomfortable ones? So I'll start off, because I think this one's like one I've tried watching many a times, because I like you took a risk and it's a bit edgy and going there, but 8mm was too close to the knuckle for my liking, and I could not get away with it. And normally, like as you said, I think it came out at the same time or around about the same time as Seven as well. So that type of like murderous or like nasty or video nasty type thing was coming out. But 8mm, I'll be honest, is not one I've been able to finish for Nicolas Cage. And it's probably down to the tones of the film and the concepts. But is there any others that you find difficult?
I mean, there's none I find particularly difficult. There's just some that are shite. I think there's none that I think are sort of actively. I mean, there's some shite that I've struggled to finish. I mean, Deadfall was diabolical. Like that and Left Behind are the two that I've really had to force myself to watch.
Now you mentioned Deadfall before we went live.
Yeah.
So tell us about Deadfall.
Because it became a bit of like a meme in our friend group because like I think we've just been watching like Nicolas Cage like crazy scenes or whatever on YouTube. And like this one kept coming up, doing like a stupid rant. He does say like the R word, so I'll not do the rant or anything. But it's called Deadfall. So I bought like those like shady DVDs where it's like the brown case, nothing inside apart from the disc, and it's really hard to get off the thing. But yeah, like it's basically just a really boring like crime mystery sort of thing about like a guy who's like a cousin, and he like goes into like a mob family, and it's ostensibly like he replaces Nicolas Cage's character, like his place in the mob family. So that's why he goes crazy and he like steals his girlfriend. So there's plenty of scenes of like Cage having just massive tantrums and stuff, and he's got a really weird like long hair like bob wig. Sunglasses all the time, like Hawaiian shirt type of deal. Yeah,
it's so weird. It's just what's odd though. It's got a really good cast. Like Michael Bihn's in it. He's the main guy, and James Coburn's in it, playing twins for some reason. But it's It's directed by Christopher Coppola, who I think is Francis Ford Coppola's son, or is Nicolas Cage's brother. I can't remember which one.
Keeping in the family type thing.
So
and he plays a brother in the movie as well.
So I think Nic Cage did it because it was a favor, and he probably got paid like £4.
But he's the highlight though.
It's
you're just watching for like his next scene, but then at some point they kill him, and it's like
his death is fantastic though. He's got a really good death.
Yeah, doesn't he get his face put in the deep fat fryer?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crap though. It's all that build up, and then he dies, and then the last sort of 25 minutes, I think, is just Michael Biehn kind of looking a bit confused, and James Coburn going, "I'm a twin." And
because they try and do like a big reveal, don't they? But by that point, you're like, you haven't been paying attention.
It's like, are you missing Nicolas Cage? Bring him back. Bring Cage back.
Bring back his head that's just got a bit of batter on it or something. That would make it more entertaining.
Like, this movie pulls you in because I've seen, like, I did the exact same thing. I kept seeing it, and it's almost kind of Fear and Loathing-esque in its style. So you're like, oh, that's quite good. It might be in all that kind of weirdness, and you watch it and like, this is the worst movie I've ever watched.
Basically.
When he's not on screen, there's no weirdness. But like, if you just watch clips, you might think like we did, like, oh, this must be like crazy hilarious. He does at one point shout like "fuck" the loudest I've ever heard anyone, and loudest and longest I've ever heard anyone do it, and I think that's like a massive skill.
It is just an overall poor film.
So what we need to do now is have a Nicolas Cage film festival and show like all these films that we've talked about, and see who cracks first, or do a Shia LaBeouf and say, let's watch 16 or 20 hours of all Nicolas Cage movies like at once.
Is this your next 24-hour challenge that turns us all insane?
I'm not turning you back into Sonic, don't worry.
Like, trying to be actually sticking out the 24 hours, just sat there like, I can do this.
Saying that though, we were laughing the other day, because me, Jake, and Sammy were the survivors for the 24-hour stream. We didn't sleep one iota, but there was another Twitch streamer, we'll not name names, doing a charity 24-hour stream. We checked in after the 12-hour mark, and she was snoring on stream. She was snoring. She'd fallen asleep. So yes,
amateurs.
Yes,
amateur hour.
But yeah, sorry, I just had to get that dig in there. I'm not bitter or anything.
Good. Please, you did.
So
bringing everyone up to the hour level,
yes.
Or down. I don't know which one.
We're up, Jake. We're up.
So no, like as you said, he's a huge comic book fan, and like I say, the weird thing is, he's probably his most defining role in the comic book industry, or the comic book movie industry. Sorry, isn't a Marvel, isn't a DC. It's Kick-Ass as Big Daddy.
Forgot about that.
And it is a homage or a piss take to Batman, shall we say? But how good or how well that movie like was put together. Like, we'll not talk about Kick-Ass 2 because it's okay, but like I say, the levels that we got with Kick-Ass, and I know we were like they were talking about this movie for got on 5 years before it actually like came out as well, because it was always rumored like they had clips or storyboards at San Diego Comic-Con when they were trying to make it, because it was Jonathan Ross's wife, Jane Goldsman?
Yeah, she wrote it.
She'd done the writing for it. But I wouldn't be sad from seeing Kick-Ass getting Nicolas Cage as a Batman. I think he could do a Batman role quite well.
Yeah, because like the interesting part about that role is they really lean into like that he can make the switch to like being a sort of normal dad if he wants to, whereas like they usually play a Batman like this guy's not normal, you know, like
he's a very moody, sad man.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Paul. I think if they did him as like an older Batman, like I mean, he could do Batman Beyond, Bruce Wayne. Let's face it.
Oh, sorry, I'm just
Batman. If we went back to Batman and Robin style Batman,
I don't want to see Nicolas Cage with bat nipples. No,
I do.
No.
Yes, I've just had a memory unlocked. The line switch to kryptonite. Oh, fuck me. When he screams that is some of the best fucking screaming ever. Because it just goes from like high to higher. It's fucking brilliant.
I mean, it feels out of place, but then you remember he's on fire, so it's like,
Yes.
okay, like maybe you wouldn't have the best vocal control.
But it's such a great delivery.
Yeah,
I just love it. I totally forgot about it then. Then when you mentioned Kick-Ass, I was like, oh my god, switch to Kryptonite. Me and Anthony used to scream that at each other.
and of course everyone loves when he just shoots the girl.
Yes.
It's like, are you ready? Boom. Yeah. But I think that is probably one of the. I know I don't want to call him a chameleon because he's very upfront and like I know he changes his roles quite a lot, but I don't think he ever disappears in a scene. I don't think we could ever claim that for Nicolas Cage. But
no,
the variety and like because as you said, you could have a conversation with a person in the street and say a Nicolas Cage movie. I'll go, oh, I probably don't like Nicolas Cage movie, but then you can mention like the films that we've mentioned, and you'll go, oh yeah, shit, that actually isn't bad. Oh yeah, shit, I enjoyed that. I think that's like the joy, and again, I don't think he gets the credit he's probably due to like some of the roles he does or some of the performances because he just goes out there and thing. But as a whole, I think he's got some of the biggest balls in Hollywood for what he does and how he goes about does it as well because he doesn't conform. He doesn't think, oh, I have to take this back or I don't have to do this. He literally just either does what the fuck he wants or does what he thinks he'll enjoy. And great, he's never going to be like I say a Tom Hanks. He's never going to be like I say a Leonardo DiCaprio. But we've got too many of them. It's great to have someone like Nicolas Cage.
He's his own.
Both a bit dodgy.
Yeah, he's his own creation. And I was going to say something that's totally slipped my mind now. Sorry, my brain is all over the place tonight.
And I think as well, when it comes to like actors and stuff, people assume they make, I mean, Nicolas Cage obviously is very well off and does quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember what actor it was, but they said they will do big blockbuster pieces and they'll get a decent pay packet because then they can then go and maybe produce or put money into doing something really small and be part of that. So I wouldn't be surprised all the shite that Nicolas Cage has done to allegedly pay off whatever he needs to pay off. I wouldn't be surprised if he's done some of those because he can then go and he's maybe been given a script by someone or he's got another concept that he wants to push forward that might be smaller, not bring as much money in, and he can go and do that. And he still needs to, at the end of the day, it's a job, so he still needs to take roles and do whatever, but he always gives 100% for them.
Yeah, 100%. And he always slides into a film that you probably don't expect him to. And not out like say some of the films he is the best thing. Some of the things he's one of the like things that you remember. Probably the big one I can remember. One that we watched. Well, the second one we watched quite recently, the Spider-Verse. Like as Spider Noir. Like how fucking amazing. Like and so weird at the same time.
Yeah, because he was doing a sort of like a 1950s 60s voice, wasn't he? Like a wise guy type of voice.
Oh, see?
Yeah, pretty much. But like he's really cool in that, and like everyone's always wanted to see like noir Spider-Man for like years and years and years and years, and like it's cool that he's gonna be like coming back in the next one by the looks of it as well to have his own little team.
Apparently, though, that he was so well received in the first one that there was actually clamour for a Spider Noir TV cartoon. So there was actually going to be a little bit of a spin-off type thing, which again, if even give me like the old Spider-Man cartoon, like a 15-20 minute episode, like 7 episode run, I'd be quite happy with that.
Oh, they could just adapt the comic book and people would be happy. Because like I quite enjoyed that comic. Like I probably only read it because the outfit was cool. Like people had said like this is one of the cool what ifs to read. But I did enjoy it.
Now
we're just talking about Nic Cage, obviously, and all this, like all the superhero stuff. Obviously, the thing with I imagine everyone's seen there's an article flying about at the moment about his appearance in The Flash.
The Flash, yes.
Yeah. I'd read that quote. Yeah.
And the consideration, obviously, what's happened there because of what he filmed versus what's actually in the movie.
Yeah, I read that.
He's only filmed, like, as far as he's concerned, he filmed a scene of Kal-El looking kind of distraught at the universe collapsing in front of him. He's like, I did not fight a giant spider. He's like, I don't know what that was. He's like, he's like, I'm sure as hell was not doing that at the time. He's like, they've done it somehow.
To be honest, I can't see like Nic Cage agreeing to be like a full CGI man. You know, like if they're saying like, do you want to come back as Superman? Like I can't see him agreeing to be like, oh yeah, I'll do like the motion capture or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine him wanting to be there.
Having to de-age him because obviously all the promo shots that were done for the Tim Burton, obviously he has to look a lot younger at that point.
Yeah, they could have just left him
really
the right age though.
It's hard with the scene because I got what they were doing with the scene because that was the original concept for that movie. If Tim Burton had actually made it, that would have been the movie, was Superman fighting a giant mechanical spider.
But instead we got Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I love Wild Wild West. I've got that on DVD as well.
In the end.
Tim West was a desperado.
Just to come back to the quote, because if you've read the quote, Nicolas Cage was very, very careful on the words he used as well, because he was very angry. No, that's the thing. He didn't use the words AI. He used CG, and he was questioned on it as well because, like Tim Burton is heavily in the media now, like rightly so, slamming anything to do with AI, and like say it's basically destroying a lot of work, a lot of
it'll destroy an industry.
Yeah, and basically, because they were trying to push a narrative on Nicolas Cage as well about the AI, so they were trying to twist it a little bit, and he was very, very careful not to mention that. But like I say, he used words like CGI and said the CGI thing, but you could tell he was a bit upset that they used that, like say the giant spider and stuff like that. But that could be the worrying trait, like that starts. Hopefully, with everything that's going on, we do put a stop to it. And again, I don't need normally get in a soapbox or have a rant. We don't want AI movies. We don't want AI thing where
we don't need AI artwork. It'll take jobs away from friends that I have who were over in the States, who were struggling to start with. It will absolutely ruin an industry. Please stop using them AI apps as well, because that's part of it.
It's stealing your face, data.
Yes, please stop.
AI is like, yes, obviously I've seen them all, and they're all terrifying. This idea of it takes multiple of your images, and then it's going to give you a cool profile picture. But it's like, it's now got all of your facial recognition. It can use this to regenerate other things.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if one of us like shows up as like a background character?
We've watched enough sci-fi movies to know why we don't do this shit.
And as we found out the other day, Lee's Hoover attacked his house when his dog had a shit.
I heard about that.
Skynet is real, guys. Skynet is dragging poo around your house.
The robot uprising starts at Lee's place.
Starts with a shit.
So while we're talking about Superman, did any of you watch The Death of Superman Lives by John Schnepp?
Yes.
I haven't, but I would like to hear like the sort of retelling if you've got that in you.
I've watched this so many times because I just felt there was so much to take in, and we all know what this can't take in a lot, so I have to watch things multiple times. It is so interesting. God bless John Schnepp for putting this together. Like, he's no longer with us anymore, which is so sad, but thankfully this is out there for everyone to see. It is literally the story from start to finish on this movie that never happened, and maybe really it should have.
It's interesting, like say when you hear like it's probably one of the better movie made documentaries to show what it's like, and like the Nicolas Cage part in it is quite well done, because the amount of shit Nicolas, I know this was before internet and stuff, but like say there were still fandoms and stuff. As soon as they heard Nicolas Cage had been cast,
forums, forums,
were kicking off because like there was leaked photos and stuff of Nicolas Cage looking very weird. It was when they were like doing test suits, when they were trying to do the black Superman outfit as well, and the weird thing is they never ever released the Nicolas Cage image that's in the bottom right corner of the screen now until that documentary. So that's when we seen. And again, people say, "Oh, Superman with long hair." Read a fucking comic book. Superman had long hair at one point. Get over it.
Yeah, didn't he have long hair like around the death of Superman time as well, which is
this
arguably
when he was very emo and into AFI or something.
Yeah. I mean, they've definitely had him in a full black suit with like a long hair before. Yeah.
When was that film kind of in sort of production? Not production. Was it 90?
It was the same time. It was about 2 years before Wild Wild West come out.
You've got to track it from
Wild Wild West was 1999.
Yeah.
So it'd be 97. So if he had done, the Superman film, would we have got Con Air or Face Off?
Why? If he was busy doing all that stuff.
If he was doing the Superman stuff, he wouldn't have been in those.
Yeah, we
so
would not
really,
have
when you think about it, maybe it's been for the best.
This would be like your.
Maybe the universe had it figured out already, and
we might have had Charlie Sheen in Con Air.
No, we don't want Charlie Sheen.
Oh my gosh!
This would be like Laura's Twilight Zone, where she's like, my wish is to see the Nic Cage Superman movie, and then when you try and go back to your DVD collection, like
Charlie Sheen, Emilia Estevez, and Con Air.
2.5 Men was the most successful show in the entire world.
Christian Slater and The Rock.
Oh no.
That could work. Doing his Nicholson impression.
It's the sliding doors concept of his whole career would have been. He'd probably be like one of these. Again, he'd be like a DiCaprio and stuff. We get none of these wild movies.
I don't know. I think he said when I went down the rabbit hole and done some weird shit.
He might have been more like a Kilmer, like a
Nicolas Cage and stop him from being Nicolas Cage, because that's the defining thing. Any Nicolas Cage movie, has he gone full Cage or not? What's the percentage of Cage?
Now the question is, have we went full Cage on this podcast? doing a theory within a theory. I'm trying to cast different Cage characters now. I'll probably see a Kevin Costner in the National Treasure role.
I have
imagine him turning around. We're gonna kidnap the president of the United States. I can't imagine Costner doing that, but not being really saccharine with it.
Yeah.
See that though. If we're going to talk about Costner, Costner did the best serial killer ever movie,
Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks, that's the one.
I love Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
I love that film.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of a certain actor I think who would have done National Treasure if it wasn't Nicolas Cage. Did Gladiator.
Russell Crowe.
He was just being an angry man at the thing. Like how angry he's never smiled once in a film.
He could never do that scene in the Buckingham Palace when he's like, "Hello."
I don't know. Like, have you seen him in the Pope's Exorcist, where he's basically a Italian Orson Welles on a Vespa?
He is so good in that film.
I love the Pope's Exorcist. That's the kind of shit I like to watch.
He really he suited it. I just felt like he let go. Like, oh yes, I'm going to do this accent. Yes,
Russell Crowe is getting like Nicolas Cage. He's starting to do really genre pulpy stuff. He did that one where he was the guy in the car and he just went batshit on some woman. Love that. Brilliant film. I still
don't understand his performance in Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know what the hell he was playing out there.
Oh yeah, I think he just had a few pints and thought, let's go and get dressed up and have a lovely
roll
time.
The camera.
Yeah, just like that. They went to the toga party.
Yeah, that's why him and Nic Cage are like roughly the similar age, I think, and they just don't care anymore. So they go, yeah, fuck it, I'll do this.
Put them in something together.
You won't be seeing that kind of Thor anymore, because if the rumours are true this morning, Taika Waititi is no longer a part of Marvel.
Well,
that era's over with.
He needed to be let go after he forgot how to edit himself. But
yeah, apparently it's not that he walked away; he got let go.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
So, bye-bye.
Things come in though with a lot of the older actors, because there's a plethora like Nicolas Cage. It's happened for Danny DeVito. It's happened for Jeff Goldblum. They've become cult status in the new generation. Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett. There are a lot of these older ones now are clicking. It's like, it's not worth going for these Academy Award-winning movies or anything like that. It's like, go for the weird shit, because that's where we make our money. The nerdism and the cultism status is way higher than another Daft Gold trophy on your shelf anymore, because nobody cares.
I don't give a shit about Bradley Cooper. I'd rather watch a Danny DeVito film.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm wondering, with this change up with a lot of actors who are pulling out wild card movies in these last couple of years and going forward at the next two, is this the click that's happened? That at one point we all laughed at people like Nicolas Cage, but say, actually, he's onto something, because he's never
I've said for
his acting work.
Yeah, I've said for a long time, I feel like he's just making so many good choices for him, not for us, for him. These are his choices, and he's kind of like just fuck it. That's how it feels anyway. Especially after I watched the Wonderland one, I was like, yeah, he definitely is he's just loving his life right now, and I am happy for him.
Have you heard the rumours for...
Hearing on interviews before he's going to do a movie, how excited he gets over, like, when he first read the screenplay and things like that. It could be the crappiest movie ever that's about to come out, but he's so happy with what he's about to do.
Yeah, you can tell he loves movies. Like, he loves, like, the art of everything.
Yeah.
Have you heard the rumours, though, that's coming about? Because you know how Marvel's now... like
gone nuts and they're trying to like backpedal and all that
trying
stuff,
to make things right.
Multiverse is a multiverse.
We will get Blade. It's coming out.
So the rumor is, and I know I've talked about this, and it's kind of like, I'm surprised it actually came true. So yes, we are now a news channel, guys. Deadpool 3. Deadpool kills the Fox Marvel universe. Like, so we've seen the images. We've seen the actors who's going to be in it. Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider is meant to be in this movie.
Is he part of? Was that Fox at that point?
I believe.
Like, was it not Sony?
Was it? I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. No.
No, it's okay.
No,
like
Venom's Sony. No.
I'm sure you're right that he's in it because they kind of want to draw a line, don't they? In some form, because they've also been saying that Wolverine and Tobey Maguire are going to be like the leaders of like a new team, like, you know, like the old guard.
This is... I don't trust these sorts of things anymore because of the multiverse of madness problem. That every theory in the world of every character was coming back. It ended up being a really disappointing film because we were all set up to think we were getting everyone.
I like to think
it's very hard to get that many actors back and that many actors back into costume, back into character, to pay them all to be back on screen. There are some people in that roster of the Fox universe who still demand a high value amount.
You say that though, but you forget the one thing that Deadpool has that the other one multiverse didn't have. Ryan Reynolds. Now he has the gift of the gab. He got Brad Pitt to do a 2-second cameo as like the Invisible Man, which I can't remember his name now.
But no money, no credit.
Yeah, but the only thing is, because like say, I know the rumors are flying around, and I know as me and Jake's had this conversation, we love this shit.
Love a good rumor.
Love a good rumor. But the thing is, though, with the amount of shit Disney's been doing to the writers, to the actors, a lot of the stuff that's getting leaked now is coming true because people don't give a fuck. They're like saying, no, we're not going to keep these secrets. I do genuinely believe, because if you look at the timeline, what they think's going to happen, and again, sorry for spoilers if this does happen, we're going to get, like I say, a lot of different cameos and deaths in Deadpool 3 just for the crack. But when it comes to the Kang dynasty, if it stays as Kang, because the rumours is if Mr. Majors goes down, they're going to do a sidestep to have Doctor Doom as the main bad guy come in pretty quick.
Yeah, they've like accidentally gone back to the real Secret Wars storyline in like the worst, messiest way possible.
Potentially. But the rumours is the Avengers or the Earth current Avengers is wiped out, destroyed, and defeated by whatever comes in that movie. And then it goes to Secret Wars where Toby and Hugh, the dream team, take on the fight to get a band of different heroes from different universes to come together and save and recreate or something like that. But that's where the story for Fantastic Four's coming about as well, because the rumor is with the Fantastic Four is they're from a completely different timeline, different universe now, where there's no heroes. They're the only ones.
They get 60s Fantastic Four, original like cartoon style, which is going to be hilarious because how they're going to do a 60s Fantastic Four walking into the modern world. There are some questions that are going to be asked when they first step in.
Well, apparently there's a hellish end credit scene at the end of the Marvels that brings back a character from the Multiverse of Madness who fans felt was shit upon, and he gets to come back.
So we're going to see Black Bolt again. Yay!
I would love to see Black Bolt. I would love to see Black Bolt. Bring the fucking Inhumans into it, because I would love to see the fact that, because Kamala Khan is Inhuman, but I really want to see John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back to Nic Cage, though. Sorry, I'm going off into tangents. What do you if he is in Deadpool 3? Do you think, like, say, Deadpool will wipe him out, or do you think there'll be a little battle there? Do you think it'll be a small cameo?
No, I think he'd get obliterated and he'd scream while doing it. He'll just go full ham, or his head will fly off and just go ah.
I really don't want him to, though, because like to me that's like the definitive Ghost Rider, because like it's perfect, because like imagine if like the Ghost Rider power set was real, and like I think Nic Cage is the perfect candidate for like whatever it is, the Penance stare or whatever Ghost Rider is. Like I think he's the
quality of Nic Cage in a Deadpool like comedic way.
Yeah.
It's all good having a big like fight scene between, but no. Have him try to ride away and something inane take out the bike. Like something so silly in the background, it just goes right going done. Or just kind of like, well, I didn't even need to do anything. Like it just happened. It just happened.
But like, how cool is it in Ghost Rider 2 though, when he gets behind the wheel of that giant like construction thing and it turns all flamey, and it's like, like you could do so much stuff.
That film was bad, though.
I love it.
The first one I liked, but Ghost Rider 2 was not good. Ghost Rider 2 had Idris Elba in, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was not a good film. I had to watch that. That was one of the worst 5 rated. Well, at that time when I watched them, I had a thing where I had watched the worst 5 IMDb rated Nicolas Cage films.
Right.
I had to watch them,
that's
and that's why
5.
I've seen. So it was lowest 5.
No,
so that the left behind.
5, though.
Yeah. Well, this was about probably about 10 years ago. So Left Behind was the worst rated. Then The Wicker Man.
Oh God!
I was going to bring up The Wicker Man.
When he kicked the woman in the face, not the bees, and all that sort of thing.
Not the animated bees.
Then I think it was Ghost Rider 2. Then there was a really weird film that I'd never heard of and I've never watched since, called Zanderley, where it was in the 80s and Judge Reinhold was in it, and he had a proper porny tash did War Judge. And Nicolas Cage was like an artist, and he had like a little shitty thingy and a little shitty beard.
Like a Shakespeare.
Yeah, and a ponytail. And there was a brilliant scene in it where he just goes batshit in his artist studios, takes his top off, starts rubbing himself with paint and just screaming. And then slides down the wall, and then that's scene end. And then what was the other one? There was one more, and I'm trying to think what it was.
So while you're thinking, just to ask the question, because I've never watched it, I could never bring myself to watch it. The Wicker Man remake, like the decisions must have been made to make that movie.
Choices were made.
Choices
were made. It is so fucking bad.
Like, it's so awful.
Yeah. They literally just got Christopher Lee's memory and just fucking smeared it everywhere. It is horrifically bad.
It's a good drunk film if you're really drunk.
I did watch it.
I'm waiting for Jake to save us now, Jake.
Yeah, like this is an interesting one because my parents love the original. Zeus is just running, by the way. But so like, yeah, it's one of those horror movies where it's like the absolute worst choices were made at like every turn. Like it's got like bad acting, like bad storyline. Like they changed the harvest to like bees, and it's like the island's honey's gone wrong, and that's why they're gonna do the sacrifice. Or why they've done multiple sacrifices, I should say. But yeah, it's just one of those nonsensical horror movies where nothing really makes sense, therefore you find it hard to get scared by any of it.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, everyone's seen the not the bees, and like it's like, and they're like, it's CGI, like Sammy was saying, but it's like they pour them like liquid, and it's just like
they wouldn't go down that way.
And he's just like, there are my eyes.
If anyone's ever watched House, like the horror movie,
I love that film. It's brilliant.
Bad, like it's comedic when you start watching it. It's like, ooh, spooky lamb, because the music always goes creepy as it looks at the lamb. It's amazing, so bad. You kind of like guilty pleasure, like stick it on just once in a while, just to remind yourself how bad this movie actually was.
Deadfall was the other film, by the way. Sorry.
Deadfall.
That might be why we bought it, because like me and Laura used to do like a website-y thing where we used to review movies and stuff. So that might be why we bought Deadfall.
Didn't you buy it for like £1? Wasn't it?
Probably.
Really?
It probably cost more in shipping. It was probably an eBay joint. Thinking about it, it's probably in my like purchase history forever now.
I do think our mutual friend still has that DVD, by the way.
Right, because it's a bit like It Follows. Like it lands in your house and then it's like a curse.
We passed it around basically and try to
so
like lepers.
all you nerds that are watching this podcast now, because it is live, we are here watching you. Yes, Beth eating the cereal. We're going to set you a task again. Like I'm going to be a dick as well. We want you to help Laura get all the Nicolas Cage movies that she can get. So every charity shop that you go into, every bargain bin you can find, if there's a Nicolas Cage movie, I'll even say it, yes. I'll reimburse anyone who buys the movies. We want to set a task. We want Laura to complete that goal. Let her be the ultimate Nic Cage fandom and live on a throne built from Nic Cage DVDs and just live it and laugh and just have the best Nicolas Cage time now.
Yeah.
So don't get me Deadfall. Don't buy me Deadfall.
The next time we do like a convention or something, we're just gonna show with loads of sacks.
bags of like DVDs.
It'll be like that part, like was it Miracle on 34th Street? Like 10,000 Nicolas Cage DVDs, all addressed to Laura.
So yes, that is the task.
Like, once you've got the full collection, you need to like send it off to one of like the really crappy magazines, like Take a Break or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll achieve a goal of.
I could win like a £50 Aldi voucher or something, couldn't I?
But it'd be like I married this stack of Nicolas Cage DVDs like on the front of Take a Break. But I mean, the end goal is to have him visit, really, and be like, like come visit Laura's stream.
God, no.
Is he on Twitter?
No,
I think the only social media I've ever seen him do was at Reddit AMA, and he was great.
Yeah,
he was really good.
That's the thing about him. Like, I think Jess was saying he's like super intelligent and stuff, but he's just very like old fashioned. But yeah, when he gets on some kind of like weird little interview or starts like typing on Reddit, like he's amazing, like a proper charmer and stuff. But I think we'd have to write him a physical letter,
right?
Like if we try and if I have to get him, it'll have to be like
sealed. We'll have to do like proper calligraphy or old papyrus or something
we'll write
like
it in
that.
blood, so then he'll be yes, he'll get the gist. But yes,
because he is Dracula now.
He is Dracula now.
Vampires kids.
We need to get him on the podcast. We'll give him the pitch. Say, look, this is the idea. What do you think about it? He'll either be all for it or he'll tell us to fuck off.
I think if we tell him there's a haunted pub nearby that we could like hang out in.
Some weird skeletons that he can purchase to put in his bathroom or something.
One thing I did want to mention as well, because like say if you go through his like filmography and that, there's not much TV.
No, he's very much a Hollywood guy.
Really do theatre either. It's very much film for him. Yeah. And to be honest, I think he's such a big character that I don't think television's big enough for him.
Right.
And he would, I think he would overshadow. If you imagine if you had a 10 episode limited series.
10 episodes of Nicolas Cage just looking at you down the camera.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I mean, he's capable of subtlety. Like there's a few films where he's quite sort of like adaptation, for instance, where he won the Oscar or he got nominated for that. He's quite reasonably subdued. He's slightly frazzled, but he's not over the top.
Do you think he was medicated?
He can do it. Yeah. So he can do it. He just chooses not to. I think.
You haven't mentioned though that in that movie he's playing his own twin brother.
Yeah.
And having conversations with himself with a weird looking. If any of you guys seen, is it The Color of Space, the Lovecraft one? He's not like super over the top in that. Like he almost plays the straight man in the horror movie, like because he's not totally
respect for that though, because huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. Like he absolutely he's like worshipping the ground of like whenever a movie's going to get made, he is the one. Him and Bill Moseley are on the phone straight of like how and when can we get in on this shit. So I think with that one, there's a lot of respect from him of kind of if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Yeah.
No pissing about, no being over the top. It's like we've got to pay all the credit it's meant to be, and it is visually beautiful. Very much like Mandy, how that's visually beautiful. It's gorgeous to watch.
Gorgeous, then ugly, then gorgeous again.
I don't think it's gorgeous all the way through. I think it's absolutely beautiful the way it's all done.
It's got Cronenberg's in it though. Come on.
I love Cronenberg. I'm the person who loves this stuff.
It's not beautiful when his child gets fused to his wife.
So
I'm that awful person who loves SFX and stuff. So I'm just like,
I know. No, it is a really a really gross effect. But yeah, I was just meaning like for a horror movie, you'd expect like the dad character to be like getting freaked out about everything constantly, but he actually is quite subdued, and it's more like the kids, I think, that are the more like standard horror characters. Like Jess says, he's taking it very seriously, but it was quite interesting. I was glad to because I haven't read that story, but I was glad to see it and be like, okay, that's what people are talking about. It's good.
So what movie would you like to see Nicolas Cage in? Or what style of movie?
Like a brand new one?
Oh, it could be like a franchise, or like you could have cast him even in your own. You could have done like Jake's life story cast.
Oh my god, I would love to see
Nick Cage.
I'm not interested in it. No, but like just like jumping off the back of like Paul's like idea where he was saying play all the Universal monsters. Like I think in this land of the multiverse that we're in, he's perfect for one of like a movie where all of his characters come to life. You know, like as many licenses as they can get. Like, and he has to like hang out with himself, including Nicolas Cage, the real life person. But yeah, I think like that would be amazing if it was just like, you know, like Castor Troy gets loose in the real world.
You just want to have cause chaos. That's what you're trying to do.
You could, and then you can get Cameron Poe to chase him down.
Yeah, you have to get, like all the Avengers, like the Nic Cage Avengers.
I'm so there for
like
it.
Legion story of like all the Cage get loose and how can you get them all back in again?
But there would have to be like a running joke where they've all had like one life event that they all share, I think.
One moment that turned them into what they were.
Yeah.
All watch the Goonies at the same time.
But yes, easily.
I'd like to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but Nicolas Cage plays all the kids. Edmund,
like
Lucy, and the other last that I can never remember the name of. I'd like to see that. It's some sort of experimental theatre type film.
This is a genuine one. What I would, because I think it would be an interesting turn and an interesting, like how if again I don't know how they would do it, but have him as a synth lord in Star Wars as somewhat.
Yeah, he could choose some scenery in Star Wars because, like, Lord knows we need some interesting characters.
Have him as someone on the light side. That would make it more interesting to see if he can actually subdue himself from not being able to lose his shit and to be calm. That would be the best thing to see, is to see if he can actually do what the reverse of what we think he would do.
Obi-Wan Nic Cage.
I think it'd be class. I would love to see him in a Jurassic Park movie with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, fuck off. The world would come to an end.
Fucking amazing.
It would explode. It would be like, no.
The dinosaurs wouldn't stand a chance because of their two acting abilities will just explode on the screen.
Like, I'm the sexy one. No, you're the sexy one.
I can imagine him just like shaking the dinosaur scientist, just being like,
what do you mean? Where are the bones?
You freaking created dinosaurs.
I would actually genuinely like to see him do Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he would be fantastic doing that.
For me, it would be. I know Mike Flanagan's just done it, but obviously the Edgar Allan Poe stories. Right. But given obviously the stuff that Nicolas Cage absolutely eats up as far as his bouginess on horror. Him tackling some of the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, I think, would be beautiful and ridiculous in its own way. That it would be that borderline, hammer horror-esque from him.
Yeah.
like a little bit
I
too
agree with you,
overacted, but beautiful and ridiculous in its own way.
Mhm.
I'd love to see him tackle something like
I'd
that.
watch him sit and
Yeah.
talk about ravens for an hour or whatever.
I like the idea of him doing
Raven.
sort of Vincent Pricey type
Mhm.
horror stuff.
I think he's got the classical overacting and like the features and stuff like that. That's why I think he was so good as Dracula as well. Just yeah, it was like almost the Lugosi eyes at times. But yeah, but yes. So any other points before we do wrap up there for the Nicolas Cage that I haven't touched on? No.
Nope.
Vampire's Kiss is brilliant. That's it. End of.
I'm a vampire.
I'm a
Isn't
vampire.
Isn't that where that face comes from
Yes,
as well?
the
Like
meme. Yeah, that. You don't say. That's what he does.
But yeah, like actually, Paul, you didn't bring up Community yet, where they have the I'm a sexy cat.
Yes. Now, if you haven't watched Community, now you're not nerds. Sorry, but yeah, sorry. It is probably one of the most pop culture TV shows there. When they go, like Abed goes on like a Nic Cage lesson, where the professor actually says only watch. I think it's one Nic Cage movie every hour, or like make sure there's a break. Don't watch too many. And Ahmed watches like a full weekend full of Nic Cage and actually breaks his soul to the point where
he basically he becomes Nic Cage. Yeah.
And just
Did he watch Deadfall over and over again? Is that what broke him?
Oh, I don't know what it was. It was like, is he good? Is he bad? Is it just good in a bad movie, or is he bad in a good movie? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But yes, Community.
You can't pin him down like
No.
Nic Cage. Just like he's just gonna do his thing.
Oh, I do have one thing. Do you think he wears wigs?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's always bothered me. Because
Yeah.
there's somewhere you can really tell it. You think that's a toupee, but then there's somewhere it's like that's not bad. And I'm wondering if he's getting to that point that Travolta got to, where
Potentially.
he's two films that he's got, one coming out called Dream Scenario that I really want to see. And there's another one that's just come out called Butcher's Crossing. He's bald in both of those, and I'm wondering, is he starting to angle like Travolta and just show us a bit of the ball before he goes full Pitbull?
Yeah,
potentially. I mean, Nicole.
All I can think of is the Lord of the Rings thing of like, do you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs?
Because I think he'd rock being bald, to be honest. I don't think he'd look weird at all.
I do think he wears wigs. Nicole Kidman has never actually used her own hair in any movie because she always likes to wear a lace front in case she has to, in case she wants to change her hair. So she always has a lace front on. I think he does exactly the same, so he can keep his hair exactly the same way he wants it to be, but it doesn't have to change for a movie. So Nicole Kidman. That is any film that you see her in. That is not her hair.
All right. So
I think he does like an arcane ritual to like grow new hair for every movie.
Is it a bit like when Kenneth Branagh sold his lips for acting talent?
Yeah.
I keep trying to find these lips. Where is his lips? But
he sold them. Sold. That's why he hasn't got any.
I have to say this:
his hair is a Ghost Rider.
as a heterosexual man, he is a very beautiful man. I think Nic Cage in a very unusual way.
He's very Benedict Cumberbatch beautiful.
Yes, I don't think he
has
ever looked unattractive. And I don't think he gets the credit as being a sex symbol that he is. So let the Nerdy Up podcast say that Nic Cage is a sex symbol.
Right, if you want to watch him being sexy, there's a film that he did about 4 or 5 years ago called Between Worlds.
Right.
And he does a sex scene in that. One of the most unsexiest things I've ever seen in my life.
Is it worse than
Showgirls? His character is a proper little tramp, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it worse than... Yeah. When you actually watch the film and know what's happening in the plot, it's definitely not
I'll
sexy.
tell you what, like when I was a kid, like at the start of like The Rock and stuff, where he's got like a supermodel girlfriend, I can remember thinking like, they don't look like a good couple together.
Nick.
He's an unusual but beautiful man. I'll always say that.
But yeah, like you need more unique looking people in Hollywood.
We need more unique people looking on the internet. Yes. But yes. As I go all creepy there. So yes. So that was our take well, probably our first. I would like to take a trip down Nic Cage lane again. Maybe talk about like some movies or do a review of a few of his movies.
Yeah,
well.
like like focus in on a specific
movie.
one.
Yeah, I think
maybe do Ghost Rider because I've never seen it.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I've got a lot to say about The Rock and Face Off.
Yes. So yes, so this will have went out after Trekking. So I hope you all watched Trekking and enjoyed it because Goodwill puts a lot of effort in and Graham turns up. Let's be honest. And Monday we have coming out. We've got Sleepaway Camp episode.
Sleepaway Camp
on Monsters. So
you're in for a treat. In for a treat.
And after that, on the Monday night, what will Jake and Adam be talking about? Because I don't know.
Yeah, we're actually good. Yeah, we didn't decide till after we went off the air, but we're gonna hit Assassin's Creed next.
Oh yeah,
because Adam's done another guitar cover of Assassin's Creed music, and I know you did the logo recently. So
I've got to send him the T-shirt as well. So I've said for payday he will get his T-shirt for the music he's been doing. But yes,
yeah, but yeah, we're just hitting random broad video game topics and not really planning or pinning anything down until we're on screen. But yeah, it's been fun. An audio version coming soon, thanks to Sammy and all that hard work.
Yes. Well, it's your hard work, Jake. You did the episode, and I'm just putting it up there. And next week I will be back. I will be back home. This is the last one I'll be recording here, and I couldn't be more fucking happy. I am so sorry for the dogs, for the reenactment of The Lion King that's just been going on in the background for the past 5 minutes. I apologize sincerely. They only do this once a year, but I am going home next week.
So we'll be seeing Jess on Sunday. She'll be down. If any nerds, well, probably not after seeing this episode.
It's too late.
If anyone nerds have seen Jess, I hope you got a nice picture with her and said hello. And also,
no one recognise me.
I'll take a picture of you so they know, so that's fine. I'll just take a picture of walking around and say, "Do you know this person?" It's okay.
Do you know this girl?
Like Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Do you know this boy?
So do you have anything you want to promote, Jess?
If anyone knows how to get a will to live.
Oh well.
If anyone's offering, let me know.
I am in full-on adrenaline, hating my life mode at the moment because everything is peak stress until I arrive in Manchester on Friday and I can calm down.
Not long, my sweet, not long.
Everything can be fixed with a finger up the bum. Don't worry.
Including
the
hiccups.
That's the Nerdy Up North promise, apparently. The Paul's just invented.
Nerdy Up North, cure your life with a pokey bum one.
Yes. So Laura,
apparently it gets rid of the hiccups. So,
yes. What would you like to promote? Anything, Laura?
Buy DVDs.
Yes.
They are important.
keep the DVD dream alive.
DVDs going. I know someone who used to do the whole packaging for DVDs, but now went out of business and now has to sell prams.
All right, so you don't want to be a pram seller.
Let's not have that happen to everyone else.
Exactly, but no, if you want to, if you fancy popping in and watching me stream, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And
where would they be able to find you?
Twitch. I'm one of them arseholes on Twitch, and it's Slide and Sloop, which is all one word. And I play different games on different days, and you can pop in and have a nice time. If you like Mambo Number 5, you can play that with Hogs.
And the link will be in the description down below there. So remember, go down below; they'll be in there. I'm not pointing at my crotch. Don't worry, guys.
No.
But it's fine. But if you want to point at my crotch, hey.
But yeah, Laura in our community is super cool, and they also come and help us out on our streams quite often. We wouldn't be where we are today without a little Slide and Sloop bump every now and then.
Oh, I'm very good at bumping. I'm very rotund. Yeah.
But yes, it's been lovely having you on. So thank you for finally joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. And Jess, it's always lovely. I hope things do pick up and you cheer up a little bit, bless you.
And I'll give you a big squishy cuddle on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be amazing to see you guys. It's gonna be great. It'll be an amazing weekend. It will. Honestly, it's one of the best.
It's already happened, Jess.
It's already happened. It's already happened, and I'm already pregnant. I don't know how what happened.
I can't believe what happened.
We don't know.
And Jake, It's always a pleasure. You beautiful, beautiful man.
Thank you.
The face that runs the place. But yes,
the viewers will be sick of me soon. We've ramped up recently.
They're not sick of Goodwill yet, so you've got a long way to be on the annoying level. So don't worry.
Gotcha.
Yes. Hi, Goodwill.
We love you.
Hi,
the hardest working man in podcasting in the Northeast.
Yes. And Sammy, it's always a pleasure. I'll be nice to you as well. So thank you again, and thank you for not killing the dogs.
My parents will be very much welcome.
Yes, and hi, Sammy's mom. Hope you're watching. But yeah,
it's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Sammy's
mom.
Happy birthday.
Yes, I'll give you a present later. Don't worry, love. So yes, follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Blue Sky. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on TikTok.
Just search Nerdy Up North and you'll find something.
Yes, you will
find us. Yes. We're also on anywhere you'll find your podcast from. Episodes go up regularly.
Yes, I have noticed we have had a big spike on the audio side as well, which is crazy. We are nearly, I think, at nearly 11,000 downloads for the Nerdy Up podcast, which is crazy. So yes, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye. Bye.